And we are live. This is UFC Fight Night 90 Bro Picks. This is Ricky.
So guys, this is Justin. We're going to do UFC Fight Night 90 and then the TUF finale card. So I'll start off. We got the first fight of the night. We got Vicente Luque versus Alvarez Herrera in the welterweight division. This is a pretty easy fight to call. Luque's record is 8-5-1, and then Herrera's 9-3. Anyways, I got Luque in this fight. He's the favorite. He's young. He trains at Black Zillions. He did look pretty good on TUF. Had a nice sub against Nate Choi, and then he fought Haider Hassan in the finale, and it was a pretty good fight of the season. And then he just fought Hassan in the UFC recently. I think it was last year, and he got a nice anaconda choke in like 2 minutes. So this dude's a finisher. He knocked out Thiago Santos, who's fighting Mousasi on 200 2 years ago in like the first round. Anyone that knocks that dude out is good. So a lot of promise in this kid. I like this kid. So I got Luque by a first round sub.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Luque. All right, let's move on to the next fight. To be honest, I don't really care about these first couple fights. You can get into them if you want, but I'm probably just going to – I don't really care. Next fight – Huh?
So that's fine with me. The last 6 fights are the best ones anyways.
Yeah, so the next fight's going to be Reginaldo Vieira versus Marco Beltran. Vieira is 13-3. Beltran is 7-3. I'm probably going to pick Beltran for the win. What about you?
Yeah, Beltran's a dog in this fight. I like him in this fight. He trains with Yair Arias, so he's kind of flashy. I'm not going to be betting on this fight. I'm not a big fan of both dudes. It's in the bantamweight division too, but I got Beltran. I mean, I'm not going to talk about this fight that much. I say decision for Beltran. Don't really care about that fight. So next fight we got in the lightweight division, we got Gilbert Burns versus Lucas Sajewski. This is one of the locks of the night in my opinion. I got Gilbert Burns the favorite. Dude trains also Black Zillions. He's pretty good. Doesn't have the best stand-up, but he's has one of the best ground games in the division by far. He subbed Alex Cowboy Oliveira in the 3rd round, and he was getting dominated in that fight. This dude has heart. And Sajewski's not really that good. He lost his debut against Nick Hine. Burns lost his last fight, his first fight in his career against Rashid Makdessi, but that dude's a dark horse in the division. So I got Burns in this fight. Probably by decision, but I can see a sub. What about you?
I'm probably going to go with Burns too. He just looks like the tougher. He's 10-1. He's from Brazil. I just think he's fought the better competition. So I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns. All right, so let's move on to the next fight. So it's going to be on Felipe Arantes versus Jared Sanders. Felipe Arantes is Brazilian, 17-7. Jared Sanders is from the USA, 15-3. They're going to be fighting at the 135 division. I guarantee you it's going to go to the decision, and I think I'm going to give it to my man Jared Sanders, USA, 4th of July victory. What about you?
Yeah, this is probably the first – this is the first fight that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm not a big fan of this fight, but I do like Arantes in this matchup. Dude trains with Thomas Almeida at Shooter Box. He's looked pretty good in his UFC career. I mean, he had a close fight against Andre Fili, and he beat Yves Jouban in his last fight, and that dude used to be in the top 15. And this dude has a solid ground game, has good stand-up. I'm not a big fan of Sanders. Dude's just a gritty wrestler. Doesn't show that much besides that, so I got a decision for Arantes. All right, so next fight we got also in the bantamweight. So many bantamweight fights in this card. We got Pedro Munhoz, 11-2 against Russell Doane, who's 14-5. This is another kind of lock. I feel like I'm not gonna bet because Munhoz is the favorite, but it's pretty straightforward. Call for me. I got Munhoz. He had a close fight with Jimmy Rivera. Jimmy Rivera's ranked in the top 15. He's a really good fighter in my opinion. And Munhoz, won the distance with him, and it was a split decision. And Munhoz is a finisher too. He's 8 wins by finish. Dude trains at Black House with Alan Jouban. And I'm not that impressed with Russell Doane. Doesn't really go for it. Hasn't looked that good. Looks sloppy lately. So I got Pedro Munhoz by decision. or a late finish. One of the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. You know, Russell Doane's 14-5, Pedro Munhoz 11-2, and I just think Munhoz is gonna win it as well.
I'm not that impressed.
Huh?
I'm not that impressed with Jared Sanders, and he beat Russell Doane in his last fight pretty convincingly. Russell Doane didn't have much of an answer. But
What are
okay.
you talking about?
What's up?
What are you talking about?
I said Russell Doane just lost to Jared Sanders, who we just talked about in the last fight.
Yeah, and Jared Sanders is gonna win again too.
I don't think he's that impressive, but I'll just throw that out there. All right, go ahead.
All right, next fight: Lopes versus Anthony Birchak. Another 135 fight. Hopefully it's not boring. Hopefully something happens in one of these fights. Anthony Birchak is 12-3. Lopes is 19-2. I think that I'm probably gonna have to go with Lopes on this fight. What about you?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with you. Birchak's fought the better guys. He killed Joe Soto in the first round. Soto looked pretty good in his last fight. He looked pretty good against Almeida, and so Almeida knocked him out. And his first fight, was against Ian Otwissel, who is a weight loss specialist. What's up?
He got knocked out. He doesn't have a chin.
Yeah, against Thomas Almeida. Almeida's a beast, though. I know Noah knocked him out, but Almeida's still a good fighter. And anyone that looks good against him, I'm got my eyes on him. And I don't see Delano Lopez. He has one fight experience. He's from TUF. Didn't look that good on TUF. I don't see him beating Birchak. So Birchak's the lion key for the division. Good stand-up. Goes for the kill. So I got him with the second-round knockout.
Would you say he's the Lion King of the division?
Lanky. He's tall and lanky. Not Lion King. Anyways, yes, I got Birchak, Lion King. So next fight, we got John Makdessi 12-5 against Mehdi Baghdad 11-3 in the lightweight division. It's a close fight. It's gonna be on the feet. I don't see this fight going to the ground. I'm going with a dog in this fight. I got Mehdi Baghdad. I feel like he has better stand-up. I feel like Makdessi's on his way out. He's talked about retirement. And I do not want to pick anyone that's talked about retirement. I mean, Cowboy broke his nose, not his nose, his jaw. And he was talking about retirement. Didn't look that good in his last fight. Baghdad trains at Black House too. He's also trained with Anderson Silva his whole life. And anyone that trained with the Spider, in my opinion, even though Spider's on the downhill, that's impressive. So I'm going with Baghdad by a dominant decision or a second-round finish.
I don't think it's going to be that dominant. I'm not really that impressed with Baghdad. He lost to Artem. Artem sucks he's not a good striker either. I think, yeah, you're right. But the fact that he's talking about retirement does kind of worry me. But no one wants to lose a fight. Like getting punched in the face sucks. So I don't think Makdessi's going to go in there to lose. He's going to try to win. So, and I don't think Baghdad's that great, to be honest. Yeah, he lost to Artem, and Artem, you saw Artem's not well-rounded at all. His striking's not that great. He only has one punch, and he lost to him. So I don't see Baghdad doing much in the UFC. I don't think he's going to do much. It's probably going to be his only fight. Makdessi's going to win. Probably be a boring decision, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags surrounding Makdessi, in my opinion. He just left TriStar and he opened up his own gym. So, I mean, I don't like guys that do that. And Baghdad trains at Black House, like I already said, good gym. So I'm going to go with the fresher fighter, the younger fighter. So Baghdad is my pick. You're picking Makdessi. All right, call the next fight.
All right, it's Albert Mina versus Mike Pyle. Mike Pyle is a quicksand from USA, 27-11. Albert Mina, 12-0, undefeated. Only 8% of his fights have went to decision. They're fighting in the 170-pound division. To be honest, I know Mike Pyle has a lot more experience, but I think Albert Mina is going to want this fight, and I think he's going to take the win. To be honest, he's going to keep this going, and he's going to be a contender. I'm going with Albert Mina for the win. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not impressed with Alberto Mina at all, in my opinion. He's is a finisher. He's he's 12-0, and 11 is wins by finish. But who's he beaten that's good? Like both the dudes that he's beaten in the UFC are not that good. He arguably lost his last fight against Akiyama in a split decision. One of the most boring fights I've ever seen. Mike Pyle's been around the game. 23 wins by finish. One of his weaknesses is he gets knocked out a lot, but they're all against good guys in my opinion. And he's looked pretty good lately. Looked good against Sean Spencer. Came back, knocked him out. Beat Rick Story in a good fight. He has big wins, and he's a finisher. And he looks for it on the ground. His ground game is nasty, and he has good elbows, good clinch. So I got quicksand in this fight by a finish. Mike Pyle's good.
Dude, Mike Pyle's gonna get knocked out.
No,
he doesn't have a chin at all. Why would you put? He's on his way out, dude. He's gonna go to retirement soon.
If Sean Spencer can't knock him out, then Alberto Mina can't. Sean Spencer is a boxer and has better stand-up. Go watch that fight.
Mike Pyle doesn't have a chin, bro. He's gonna get knocked out.
He looks like he had a good chin in his last fight. Go watch it. He got dropped like twice, and he still won.
He got dropped. Exactly.
Still won, and he knocked the dude out in the third round. He has heart.
Exactly. He got dropped.
He's fighting in Vegas where he lives. He's not going to lose this fight, dude. Mina's not that good.
Neither is Pyle. They both are mid-range fighters.
Pyle is on his way out, I will say that, but I think he can beat Alberto Mina.
I don't think he's going to.
Okay, so I got Pyle, you got Mina. We'll see what happens. Next fight, we got Joe Duffy versus Mitch Clarke in the lightweight division. Duffy's 14-2, Clarke's 11-3. This is the easiest fight to call, in my opinion, on the entire night. I got Duffy all day by a first-round finish. Dude's a finisher. He's looked really good in the UFC. He looked good against Dustin Poirier, but Dustin just took him down. He almost knocked him out in the first round, and he almost subbed him in the third round. So Dustin's a contender too. Mitch Clarke, he doesn't have that good stand-up, in my opinion. I mean, he trains at Winklejohn, but he has a good ground game. But I feel like Duffy has better everywhere. I think Duffy has a better ground game. It's better on the feet. Clarke had a nice Darce against Iaquinta, but I just don't think Clarke's going to get it there. And I think if he does, I can see Duffy still submitting him. So I got Duffy in this fight by a first-round knockout. He's going to make a statement, and he's going to get a big fight next. I can see Duffy making some waves in the division.
Yeah, I agree. His fight against Duffy was very close. I think it was very close, kind of scary close, especially
Dustin?
Since we had right.
Yeah, we watched that. It was a good fight, dude.
Yeah, he rocked Dustin a couple of times, and to be honest, I think he's gonna rock Mitch Clarke. I don't see Mitch Clarke doing much. I think he's gonna finish him. He's either gonna knock him out or he's gonna hurt him on the feet and then choke him out. So I'm gonna go with Joe Duffy with the finish. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It's gonna be this is the fight I think is lock of the night. It's gonna be Alan Jouban versus Belal Muhammad. Alan Jouban is from the USA. He's 13-4. Belal Muhammad is 9-0. So they're going to be fighting at the 170-pound. It is kind of so Belal is pretty technical striker, and he's undefeated, so he's pretty good. But I'm just impressed with Jouban. His last fight he did, he just has some really good knockouts. So I think that I don't think Belal is going to be able to put up with it. It's his UFC debut, so I don't know how people do those days. It's kind of hard to put my money on them, and especially with the way Jouban's been fighting recently, I really think he's going to get the win. I think he's going to get the finish. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to this card, and you know how big of a fan I am of Jouban. I mean, this is just like I said, this is one of the lock of the nights besides Duffy and Gilbert Burns. I mean, I said on UFC Betting Sharks in a group on Facebook, this guy's the lock of the night. I did watch Belal Muhammad's fight against Steve Carl yesterday. Looked pretty good, but Carl's kind of overrated, and he's been on a downhill ever since TUF. He knocked him out in the fourth round, but before that, he won 6 wins, all by decision. He puts out good volume and stuff. He has good stand-up, but Jouban's the finisher, dude. Jouban goes for it. He only has 1 loss in the UFC against Tubanov. He beat Warri Alves. We all know that. It's controversial. And I just think Jouban goes for the kill, and he's not a fast starter. He looked like a fast starter in his last fight. That's the only thing that The only bad thing about Jouban, he's a slow starter, but he has a lot of heart. He has a good chin, and he goes for the kill. He had a really sick cartwheel kick against Matt Dwyer in the second round. He's a finisher, dude. Trains at Black House, like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. He's going to be a contender in the division. Like, I'm going to bet a lot of money on Jouban in this fight. He's going to knock this fool out in the first round. Muhammad's fasting right now, and Ramadan, I don't want to bet anyone that's freaking fasting right now. He's going to look small in that. So Jouban's going to smoke this fool. But Muhammad could do good, in his next fight, but he's not going to beat Jouban. So I got Jouban all day in this fight by a first round knockout. Jouban's just too much for him. All right.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I can't wait for this fight.
Let's move on to the next fight. It's going to be Roy Nelson, ranked number 10, versus Derek Lewis, ranked 12.
Just skip me.
Fighting the heavyweight division. Big Country is a 12-2. The Big Black Beast is 15-4. Big Country weighs 263, and the Black Beast weighs at 260. To be honest, this is going to be one of the most interesting fights of the night. Probably one of the most fights I'm excited for, because these guys just want to bang. I don't know how long Roy Nelson's gonna just stand out. I think he's gonna take it to far, or weather the storm and knock him out. Because I don't think Derek Lewis is well-rounded enough to knock him out, or smart enough, or endurance. So Roy Nelson is a little bit older than him, which is a bit concerning. But I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. He's getting old, but I think he's still in there. He's still got some pretty good fights left in him. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think he's going to bring it out on Thursday. So I'm going to go with Roy Nelson. Probably he's going to get a TKO with the ground and pound. Probably that would be really cool to see him do that to do a crucifix and just bang on his face all day until the ref stops the fight. I don't know why, but I think someone mentioned that, and I kind of see that coming as well too. If not, I think he's just going to use his jiu-jitsu to take him down, stabilize a good position on him, and ground and pound. Whether it be I think he's just going to get a good position and ground and pound. What about you?
Well, first off, I was supposed to call this fight, but you skipped me, but it's all good. We're bros. Second off, yeah, originally I picked Derek Lewis in this matchup, but then I, watched some more tape and stuff and realized that I just think Big Country has the better chin, and I feel like Derek Lewis just has stand-up. He's not that good in the ground, and he didn't look that good against Gonzaga last fight until he knocked him out, in my opinion. And, he's been knocked out twice, and Big Country's been knocked out a couple times too, but against top dudes. I mean, Mitchell and Sean Jordan knocked him out. We're talking about, knocked out Derek Lewis. And Sean Jordan's been training with Big Country, so he's going to help him out. And I don't think Big Country needs to train with him, but I can see what you said. I can see Big Country taking him down, knocking him out. He's more well-rounded. He's more experienced. I don't think Derek Lewis is just that well-rounded, in my opinion. He just has good stand-up. He does hit super hard, but he cannot beat a dude like Big Country, in my opinion, right now. So I got Big Country by a first-round knockout. I could see him taking him down, doing ground and pound knockout, like you said, but I just think Big Country's a little too much for him. But Derek Lewis has a future, but I got Big Country. All right, so the main event, we got RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos against Eddie Alvarez. We got RDA's 24-7, and we got Eddie Alvarez 27-4. I'm not a big fan of Eddie Alvarez at all. I don't think he deserved the shot. I think Ferguson deserved it, maybe even Khabib. Alvarez doesn't look that good. He looked shitty against Gilbert Melendez and Pettis. I think RDA is going to go in there and smash him. I mean, I could see a dominant decision, maybe toying with Eddie, but I see RDA just going in there and, picking him apart just like he did against Cowboy and knocking him out fast. I mean, Eddie's durable. That's one of the best things about him, but he's not that impressive. And I feel like RDA is better everywhere in this fight. And people are talking crap about RDA, saying he's hurt all the time, he doesn't fight. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of RDA. I'm a fan of him, though, but I do think Ferguson's going to beat him in the future. But I got RDA in this matchup all day. It's easy. Eddie Alvarez is the dog. Good price, but I'm not betting on him. So I got RDA.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see Eddie Alvarez beating him anywhere at all. To me, Dos Anjos is just a beast. The way he dominated Pettis was impressive. The way he just finished Cowboy was impressive. And to be honest, he finished Benson Henderson, which is impressive. He just gets better and better every time in the octagon.
Does yeah.
So I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him like not get better recently. He's still on his way up. I can't wait to see him fight. He's gonna do really well. I think, to be honest, I think Conor McGregor might have gotten a little lucky against him because he probably would have wrecked him. To be honest,
I would have picked McGregor too. Yeah.
You would pick McGregor. I think he could have wrecked McGregor. We'll see.
I would
We'll
pick
see.
McGregor.
Only time will tell. I mean,
It's gonna happen.
I don't know if you remember, but Rafael Dos Anjos destroyed Nate Diaz.
Yeah, I watched that fight. Nate Diaz looked like out of shape and terrible.
Right. So, and I know whatever that AB doesn't make equal. I know that like you can't. But anyways, I just think Rafael Dos Anjos is on another level. His wrestling is great. His jiu-jitsu is great. And his striking is great. So, to be honest, like you said, Eddie Alvarez is pretty durable, but he's not going to be able to last 5 rounds with Dos Anjos on him.
Yeah, Dos Anjos looks unstoppable, dude.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the finish. What about you?
Yeah, finish for sure. I see a finish for a dominant 5-round decision. Either one.
Yeah, if Eddie survives, I mean, it'll be. I'll be impressed if Eddie can survive and win and survive 5 rounds with him.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on to the next card. TUF 23. So the first fight we got Li Jingliang against Anton Zafir. This is one of the easiest fights to call in my opinion. I got the Li Jingliang by a first-round knockout. Anton Zafir is a part-time fighter. He's a teacher. He owns his own gym. The Leash trains at like Greg's Jackson's in Albuquerque. Trains at other good gyms too. But this dude, he looked pretty good in the UFC. He's a bulky guy, has good stand-up. He lost a close fight in his last fight. And I mean, it was a pretty close fight till he got subbed. But he has good experience. He's fought better dudes. That's like the number one edge, in my opinion, in this fight. And I just see the experience is going to get him the W. So I got him by a first-round knockout. Anton Zafir got wrecked in his debut against James Montasheri. Wrecked. What about you?
I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm just going to go with Jingliang Li. You know, he's just I think he's just fought better experience, you know. I just think he's going to win as well. 170. I'm not that interested in this fight, to be honest. But I'm going to go with Lee. All right, let's move on to the next one with Jake, the Celtic Kid Matthews versus Kevin Lee. Jake Matthews from Australia. He's 11-1. They're fighting at the lightweight at 155, and we got Kevin Lee. I think Kevin Lee's going to take this fight. You know, I think he's just going to be too strong for him. Too strong, too athletic, and he's going to get this fight. He's probably going to get the decision. You know, he's a good wrestler. So I think he's just going to grind it out. Decision 8 this fall. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I'm a fan of Jake Matthews. Dude has good promise in this division, but I think the short notice fight favors Kevin Lee, in my opinion. I mean, Jake Matthews has been training for 2 months for Stevie Ray, and Kevin Lee is a totally different fighter than Stevie Ray. Kevin Lee is huge for the division, a really good wrestler, and I just see Kevin Lee taking him down at will and giving a hard-fought decision. It's going to be a close fight. I don't see a finish in this fight, but I do see maybe a split or a close decision for Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is just going to be too much for him, in my opinion. We both got Kevin Lee. Okay, the next fight. This is one of the most interesting fights on the card, in my opinion. We got Cesar Herrera against Anthony Smith. Cesar Herrera is 10-5, and Smith is 25-11. Herrera has the worst chin in the middleweight division by far. This dude gets knocked out every fight. He looked decent in his last fight against Dembose, but Dembose took it on like a week. He just gassed himself out in that first round. I watched it yesterday. And we both picked Dembose. I was pretty mad about that. But Herrera, dude, he has no chin. He has a ground game. That's all he has. Anthony Smith, dude, I've been following this kid for a long time. He's on an 8-fight winning streak. Turned his whole career around. He looked good in his last fight, and this dude just wants it, man. And this dude is just has good stand-up. He's just gonna knock this dude out in the first round. He's good off his back too. So if Herrera takes him down, I can see him getting subbed. So I got Smith in this fight.
There's no way he's getting subbed by. There's no way for getting subbed by Smith.
Go watch Smith's fights. He has a really good ground game off his back.
If it goes to the ground, then Ferrera's gonna win for sure.
I'm not too worried if it goes to the ground. I see Smith beating him anywhere in this fight.
I think Ferrera does have a bad chin. He's been knocked out in the first round a couple times, so it's kind of scary. But they've been by good dudes, Sam Alvey, and he got knocked out by Sam Alvey and George Masvidal, they're on their way up. He beat Bambos, dude. Bambos is a beast.
Bambos is a good fighter, man, but I like Anthony Smith. I think he has good potential in this division, to be honest.
I think Ferrera has fought the better people, man, and he's gonna get the win. The only way is if Anthony Smith strikes him, and I think that Ferrera's gonna take him down for sure, and he's gonna pass his guard. He's gonna pass his guard, and he's gonna tap him out.
I'll say this. Obviously, Smith has the edge in the striking, and if it goes to the ground, Ferrera has a better ground game. But I honestly can see Smith subbing him off his back. Smith's good, dude, everywhere. But I just see Smith knocking him out. Like, I can see him subbing off his back. I don't know if that's going to happen. I lean toward a knockout. But Smith's tall, dude. He just has really good knees, kicks, heavy hands. He's a knockout artist, man. And he has a lot of sub wins, too. So, I'm telling you right now, Anthony Smith is a good fighter. Training with Kamosi. We all know how good Kamosi is.
I'm going with Ferrera.
Okay, well, I'm going to be betting a lot on Smith if he's the dog. So I got Smith.
All right, let's move on to the next one. It's going to be John Moraga versus Matthews Nicolo. Moraga is ranked number 6. He's 16-4. Nicolo is 11-2. And they're fighting in the featherweight division. No, not the featherweight. What is it?
Flyweight.
The flyweight division. 125. These guys are tiny. So I think I'm going to go with John Moraga. He's ranked 6. He's fought the better competition. And I think he's going to get the decision. What about you?
Yeah, this is the easiest fight to call. John Moraga is a contender. He's been in there against better guys. He beat my boy Justin Scoggins. We all know how good Justin Scoggins is. Nikolai, he's only been in the UFC, I think, 1 fight, and he was from TUF. Moraga's has fought way better dudes. Moraga's going to, grind this out where I can see a finish. So I got Moraga. Easiest fight to call. All right, next fight we got Gray the Bully Maynard, 12-6 against Fernando Bruno, 16-3. Maynard's making his featherweight debut. Doesn't have a good chin at all, in my opinion, but I don't see that being a factor in this fight. Bruno doesn't have heavy hands, doesn't have good stand-up. He just wants to take it to the ground. ICA, lane, pray fight right now for Gray Maynard. I mean, he's in a meat and potatoes kind of decision for Gray Maynard. It's gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be pretty, but I see Maynard winning this fight.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Fernando's gonna choke him out.
Choke Maynard out, really?
Yeah. Maynard's a boxer, dude. I don't think he's got the good ground game, and Fernando Bruno's all about jiu-jitsu. So I think Bruno's gonna get the sub.
I'm not gonna bet on this fight. I'm not gonna bet on Gray Maynard. I'm just picking Gray Maynard to win.
All right, let's move on to the next fight.
All right, we got. Oh, you go. Go ahead.
All right, we got Joaquin Silva versus Andrew Holbrook, and Joaquin Silva's from Brazil. They're fighting at the lightweight division, 155. They're both undefeated, so it's going to be interesting to see. Joaquin's at 8-0, and Holbrook's 11-0. Joaquin Silva is a 50% TKO rate and 38, and Holbrook has 82% submission rate. Man, he's got some slick subs. To be honest, they're both kind of new to the UFC. So we got Andrew Holbrook got a win over Ramsey, which is whatever. It's not that impressive. They both have split decisions in the UFC. So I mean, I hope this fight's interesting. It might be, but I'm probably gonna give it to Andrew Holbrook for the sub. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm picking Andrew Holbrook in this fight. This dude, he got a split decision against Ramsey. It was a close fight, but he was always going for submissions. This dude's a finisher. I mean, a lot of his wins are submissions. I think all of his wins besides one. All of his wins besides his UFC debut were finishes by sub. So I see this dude beating him. He was supposed to fight Sage Northcutt, but he got hurt. But yeah, I got Holbrook in this fight. All right, next fight we got Duhoi Choi against Thiago Tavares in the featherweight division. Choi is 13-1. Tavares is 24-6-1. This is a good matchup, but I got Choi in this fight all day. This dude's gonna be contender in this division. This dude has nasty stand up. I actually picked Sam Facility. I don't even know why I did, and the dude wrecked him in the first round. Choi has 2-0 in the UFC, both by first round finishes. Tavares looked pretty good against T-City, but T-City knocked him out in the third round. And then Tavares beat Quay Guida in his last fight in 30 seconds. But I see Choi just knock him down in the first round. Choi's too heavy-handed for him. Tavares is on his way out. So give me Choi all day, first round knockout.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Duhoi Choi, he's just on a run right now. He has 2 first-round TKOs, performance of the night, so he's on a run. He's gonna be a true contender in this division. So let's move on to the next one. We got Ross Pearson versus Will Brooks. They're gonna be fighting at the 155 division, and to be honest, I'm not that impressed with either of them. I don't really care about Ross Pearson. I don't think he's that impressive at all. He just he had a good little run for a while, but that's about it. He won a split decision against Felder, which wasn't impressive at all. So I don't know. I just don't think he's that impressive to me. I don't really care much about this fight, but I'm probably going to go with Ross Pearson just because he has more UFC experience. What about you?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with you. I'm a big fan of Will Brooks. He's from Bellator, and he's making his debut, and a lot of people have been waiting for him to make his debut for a while. It's on short notice, but I thought he might have got a better fight in his debut. But Brooks is good, dude. He only has 1 loss, and he's had some good fights against Michael Chandler, other good guys. He trains at Black Zillions, I believe. No, I'm sorry, not Black Zillions. American Top Team. And Brooks is good everywhere, man. Good stand-up, good on the ground. I can see him taking down Pearson. He can mix it up with his takedowns. But, yeah, I got Will Brooks in this fight. Even though I'm not a big fan of Bellator, just like someone on TUF said a couple seasons ago, Bellator champs don't belong in the UFC. But I got Brooks in this fight by a dominant decision. All right, so the last fight on the card, we got Joanna champion against Claudia Gadelha. We got Joanna's 11-0, Claudia's 13-1. I've watched every episode of TUF this season, and I'm just not a big fan of Joanna Champ. Like, she's just a douche. She's too cocky. But I will say she's going to win this fight. She's just too much for Claudia, in my opinion. I hope she doesn't show up emotional at the weigh-in. Maybe it could be another Rousey, versus Holm. But Joanne just has so good stand-up. She's aggressive. Her stand-up might be the best in all women's MMA. She goes for it. Claudia, it was a very close fight when they fought. It could have gone either way, but I just see Joanna just taking her out in the first round. I don't think Claudia just has what it takes to get hit by her. I mean, Joanna just goes for a man, goes for the kill. Her standing is too slick, in my opinion. So I got Joanna.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go with Joe. I'm going to go with Claudia on this one. The last fight, it was a split decision. It was very close. You're right. Joanna has probably the best stand-up in women's MMA, but I don't know. I just don't like her, and that's gonna influence my decision. I'm probably gonna I just think Claudia wants it. It was a split decision. It's close. She's gonna take her down, and she's gonna grind out the win. I think she's gonna use her jiu-jitsu a lot in this fight. She's gonna win. She's going to get the decision. 5 rounds.
All right. One more thing. We'll post our picks for the TUF finale fights. I think next week is the last 2 episodes. We'll just post on who thinks going to win. So far, it's Andrew Sanchez who made it, and then I think Amanda Cooper. Khalil Roundtree's fights next week. I think he's going to beat Stansberry and then beat Sanchez, but we'll talk about it next week. Do you want to do 200 right now? We have 30 minutes till midnight. You want to do this weekend? Okay, we'll do UFC 200 this weekend. We'll be back in a couple of days. See you guys.